Hello, I am Leave Nelson B, musician for Lonely Ghost Records, and this is Tellin with Ellen. Here, we will go over recent Lonely Ghost releases, as well as those from affiliated artists, in a quest to get liner notes that you cannot get in a digital era. I hope you enjoy. So, like, what's your like musical DNA? Like, oh, what can I call you first? What?
Caleb.
Caleb. Okay. So, like, your musical DNA. Like, what would you could describe as your like the progenitors to the Hey I Love You project?
That's a good question. I think different things. Say anything. I think and Los Campesinos,
I love
are
Say Anything.
huge. Dude, Say Anything is so fucking good. I
It,
love Say Anything.
it's a Real Boy is such a good album, and yeah.
I agree. It goes so hard. Goes so
Um,
hard. But yeah, Say Anything, Los Campesinos, and probably like that, and like Your Arms Are My Cocoon, and Weather Day, and probably like video game music. Like all of that combined with like video game music, I think is like the biggest inspiration behind this project, I think.
yeah, I definitely see that. I've definitely dove into like I'll say Nintendo was definitely one of my biggest inspirations as far as like
Oh,
making music, especially like the 64 era. Like all the Mario games, besides like the new Super Mario ones, all had like incredible music
yep.
that I think nobody gives them credit for.
Yeah. No, yeah. I remember when I was a kid, I would play like way too many video games. And sometimes I would just like go into a level that I liked the music of, and
Yeah,
I would just like sit there. I would just like I would put the controller down and I would just do something else. I just wanted to listen to the music of the video games when I was a little kid.
there was this one Amiga game that a friend of mine had because he was like the rich kid,
Yeah, oh
and
yeah.
he had an Amiga, and it was old, but very few people had it. And there was this game called Awesome, and there was this game over sequence that happened, and the music was so good during the game over. I would just play it and just purposely lose.
That's awesome.
Yeah, somebody on OC Remix. I'm pretty sure you're aware of OC Remix.
Oh yeah.
And so yeah, somebody on OC Remix did a remix of that track, and it's hands down like one of my favorite songs, so like of all time. Like one of my favorite songs is the Overclocked remix song.
Hell
Like,
yeah. I remember when I discovered OC Remix when I was younger. I thought it was like the coolest thing in the entire world.
it was, man. It was. Like I think I spent like hours like just downloading torrent after torrent, and like I think I got like every song as of like 2012. I got the entire site at that point, and
Oh,
yeah,
so you're dedicated.
yeah. Oh man, that was like half my iTunes library at that point.
Hell yeah. You just like
Like
unlocked a memory. I totally forgot that OC Remix. I forgot that whole thing existed. That's crazy.
I did a the Super Mario 64. I did the water level, the first water level, and I
Yeah.
did the music for that. Went to submit it, and they didn't take it for whatever reason. So I put it on my like my debut Lonely Ghost record. So
Fuck yeah.
yeah,
Fuck yeah.
yeah, it's a very it definitely opened my mind up, and there's still people I follow, like there's certain artists that I follow from OC Remix, like this reliving those games, and reliving the music, like
Yeah.
and that site was just so good. It actually made me want to do music again because I stopped for a while, and then I just started doing it again once I found like OC Remix and these like people like that are just doing stuff on
Hell
their
yeah.
own for free, and I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah. No, I get you. I totally get you. Fuck yeah.
So, hey, I love you. This is a very good EP, and it's a very it definitely goes through like it's for as short as it is, it definitely goes through like peaks and valleys of like a whole record would, and
Yeah.
like like in the middle you have like two instrumental tracks, which I really do appreciate. I think Slumped is my favorite track on this thing, actually.
Thank you. I really
Yeah,
appreciate that.
you know. like yeah, like this thing definitely takes you on a really short but full journey, you know. So you do everything on your own, just yeah, like I do. I do everything on my own. Produce, mix, master. You know, like how like how did you acquire those skills, basically? Especially
Well,
doing what you do, because nobody can like you can't teach somebody how to mix and master. Hey, I love you. You know, like
yeah. Excuse me, I have I don't know, a cough, I guess. I don't know. I was gonna
you get
say
that
like
second shot.
I did, yeah, I did actually. That messed me up though. That second shot. I
I
got
was out for two
Pfizer.
days.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I got Pfizer. Did you get Pfizer?
I got Moderna. I got Moderna way
Oh,
back in
Moderna's the
February.
one that messes you up.
But yeah,
Um, yeah, I got Pfizer, so thankfully my symptoms weren't that bad. But um, I guess so. I've been like making music ever since like I was in seventh grade. I had Audacity on my laptop, and I had a little Rock Band USB microphone, and I would record my ukulele and sing into that thing, and it sounded awful. It sounded so horrible. Um, um, and I guess I've just been making music with like very limit, like very. I've been making music with lots of limitations ever since. I discovered GarageBand either in like eighth grade or like freshman year on my phone, and I was like, "Whoa, I can make music on my phone. This is incredible!" And like, I didn't care that like it's like not as good as a software as like Reaper or like Pro Tools or something like that. I just wanted to make music on it because it was accessible and it was easy to use, and I thought it was super cool. And so I did that for a long, long time. Um, and I think I just kind of just got better and better because I would just sit in my room all day and just I would hang out with friends and I would make music, and that's all I would do ever. And so I just kind of just got better at it, I guess, as you do. And so I think that like this is the perfect time, I guess, for me to start Hey I Love You, because I'm at this point now where I can come up with an idea and I can make it sound even better than what I imagined in my head on GarageBand, just because I know how to use GarageBand, how I want to make things sound like what sounds good to me. Um, and yeah,
yeah. You're describing something similar to how I just came to make music, because I think I downloaded a cracked version of FL Studio at first. Well, when I was like back when we lived in Florida, like this is before I like turned like 13 or something. Like we had SoundForge, I think, which is like an old Sony like it's basically just sorry, get phone call. But
oh, you're
yeah,
good.
it was just basically an old like basically something you use to to lay down tracks basically,
Yeah,
and I would make loops off of like records. I would just like take a loop and put it in there and whatever. And then I got a cracked version of FL Studio of Fruity Loops. It was called Fruity Loops at the time. And
oh yeah, I remember those days.
and yeah, and this is like back in the day when I was like you can download like Crack Breaker or like on LimeWire or some shit. This is dating me so bad. And that's how I got FL Studio. That's how I got Fruity Loops for the first time. And then once I fast forward some years, I got an actual MacBook, and I discovered GarageBand is on there. And listening to OC Remix, like I'm like, okay, let's see what this GarageBand is all about. And I got good at it. My first self-release EP was done all on GarageBand and mixed and mastered on Cubase, because Cubase had more effects and stuff like that I
Oh
could
yeah,
take advantage. It had a way better EQ. You know, not to say that GarageBand is a powerful program, just being like if you know how to work it, you know, to your
yeah.
advantage. You know, but like yeah, I paid for Cubase and I went through the whole like software license key thing that Cubase is famous for. And so I use Cubase, and yeah, the EQ is way easier to use. Like there's so much more built-in effects and everything. And
Hell yeah.
now I'm back to FL Studio. I didn't think I would be back to FL Studio. I actually use the MPC, my MPC, which is like the thing here. I actually use
Oh
my
fuck yeah.
MPC and that software. And then this is my main melody builder, basically. and then I import, that sequence into FL Studio and build everything around like a 3 or 4 minute, thing I built on the MPC, which is nice. Like I never thought I would be able to make music on an MPC because all my idols created music on, this legendary form factor of equipment,
That's
So yeah,
badass. That's
so
so
yeah,
sick.
yeah, it is. And you just get better. Like I think I took a audio production class in school, which pretty much put the boot in my ass too. Like, once I learned how to use Pro Tools there, I'm like, okay, I should be able to use Cubase now, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
so
Totally.
yeah, so like, yeah, it's definitely like took a long time for me to like
Oh yeah.
way, way, way long time, like almost like half my life just toying around with stuff. And now I
Yeah.
actually have sizable equipment and everything. But this
I
record is
think
amazing.
thank you. I think it just goes to show that like because like with bands like Weather Day and like Asian Glow and oh that new band that's pop Paranol. I don't know if you listen to Paranol yet, but I think bands like that just prove to show that like no matter what DAW you use, like you can create amazing stuff. Like you can create amazing stuff by spending like $0 on a DAW,
Yeah.
or mics or anything. You can just make amazing stuff.
I know, like when I was like looking at like especially like forums and shit for like music creators, it was like the most poisonous place you can get advice to make music because people be like,
Oh yeah.
oh, you need Reaper, or you need Audacity, or you need what's the other famous one that I tried? Oh man, it's still on my desktop actually. Yeah, Reaper and Reason. Reason was a big one that
Oh
people used to shove up my ass. But
yeah.
oh man, I hated that. And for me, like as long as if you have a workflow, you can get better at your workflow.
Oh totally. Yeah. Totally.
So there's no reason you need to spend like so much money on a DAW. Like I spent like $100 in FL Studio, and I put more money into it as time went on, because I got
Yeah.
better at it and knew what I was doing, you know.
Yeah.
But and I think
Exactly.
that shows in my music as well, because man, my Bandcamp is littered with stuff that I released when I was like in my early 20s, late teens, and stuff, and it's not that good, but it's definitely gotten a lot better now.
Hell yeah.
So like what inspired you to do to do the Hey I Love You project?
Well, I think so. I've been in like local bands for a while. I guess for like 5 or 6 years. I joined my first band, my first real band called Greyjoy, and we're still kicking it and making music to this day. Um, but I joined them like 5 or 6 years ago now, I think, which is crazy to think about. Because I was just a little boy when I joined that band. And I had no idea like what being in a band was like or anything like that. And I guess being in that band opened me up to like a lot of like new musical ideas and stuff. And so I would always make like solo stuff on my own, like on my computer and on my phone, and upload it to Bandcamp and be like, this is cool. And then I'd be like, wait, this is stupid. And I would just like, immediately take it back down and delete it. Um, and when quarantine started, I was like, I was seeing all these bands pop up on Twitter and stuff, and like bands like Weather Day and like Asian Glow and Your Arms Are My Cocoon, who make like this like emo music that's it's super groundbreaking in terms of emo music because it's lo-fi, but it's also like it's just all these different kind of ideas going around, and it's super sick. And it's something that emo hasn't really seen, at least not a whole lot of. And I was like, I want to do something like that, where I want to make music with just all these limitations and make it sound super lo-fi and super raw. And I guess I just birthed Hey I Love You out of that. And it was originally Hey I Love You was going to be like just like a one-off thing. Like I was going to release it, see if it gets any attention. Most of the time when I do something like that, it doesn't get any attention, so I end up just deleting it. But people started to actually really like the first Hey I Love You EP, and I was like, okay, whatever. I guess I'm sticking with this now. So yeah, I guess that's like the origin story, the villain backstory of Hey I Love You.
I mean, the quarantine has done a lot for creativity. I think I released 3 albums last year. So
Hell yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, some and that it coincided with a lot of things like me buying my computer and stuff like that. But yeah, the quarantine is definitely like I don't know when you can't really like shut down creativity. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You
exactly,
know,
exactly.
and yeah, it's I'm glad that this record and your last EP that came I think Lonely Ghost released it in February, I believe. Well, I think they acquired it, I think, or some shit like that.
Yeah,
So yeah, this is very damn good. Okay,
thank you.
so what I usually do is I go track by track, and like do like production notes and stuff like that,
Hell
and
yeah.
more into like the liner notes, hence the name of the podcast, Tellin with Ellen. It's a play.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, uh, so for your first single, Digital Lung, uh, like you come out swinging. This hits hard. Because you don't really. I think there was a point in time, like a few years ago, where like some people tried to do the chip tune thing, and it really didn't work out that well. And I think it's very tasteful all over this record.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. So yeah, could you talk about Digital Lung and what came to like the why did this become the opening track?
Yeah, totally. So this was actually the first song that I had written for this EP. And I remember what I wanted to do after the first EP was I wanted to have like a song that was like a live song where like I recorded my guitar, I sent it to other people. People would like, play it, like record a video of them playing drums to it, record a video of someone playing bass to it, record a video of me singing to it, and it'd be like this like a live track that people could listen to and see us playing this live. Um, and so I was like, well, I want to do like a new song. And so I recorded the guitar for Digital Lung. And I was like, okay, cool. I'm gonna send this to my friend Steven. He's gonna record himself playing bass or whatever to it, and I'm gonna send it to all these different people, and they're gonna record instruments. But that never happened because I'm really lazy and I didn't organize it very well at all. And so I just had this like guitar track that I was doing nothing with. And I remember I was living at the time with my partner, um, and I didn't have any of my instruments over at our house that we were staying at. And so I was like, I'm really bored and I want to make music, but I don't have any of my instruments to record anything with. But I had this guitar track. So I was like, I'm just going to do something. I'm just going to do whatever with this guitar track. And I ended up making like all of Digital Lung just out of the spare guitar track. And I was like, dang,
Wow,
this is kind of crazy.
that
And
is
I was
sick.
like, yeah, I was like, this is really cool. I think this would be a great like, because I really like EPs and albums that just start like in your face. There's no like build up. I think build ups are great, but my favorite is ones that just start and they're just like bam, just like right in your face about it and just like super upfront and just yeah, that's what I love. That's what I love is albums that start with the point. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're diving right deep into the psyche of the record. Like
Yeah.
I really do. I really do appreciate that.
Yeah, that's my favorite. And so I wanted to start the EP like that.
Yeah, especially with the adversity that you described, like that's amazing. That is amazing that you're able to get that with this especially with being the introduction to the record, because you would not think that this was like built out of that situation.
Thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate that. I always you like read things about your music, like you read people complimenting it and stuff, and you're like, that's cool. But it's so different hearing it come out of people's mouths. I never know how to react to it, but it's really appreciated.
Oh, because like sometimes, like if I get asked about a song, and I'm like, oh yeah, I did that, after eating some edible peanut butter, and
Yeah. Oh yeah.
like I don't know what you want to hear about this. You're gonna be disappointed when you hear the story of how this track got
No, I
got done.
totally get I totally get you.
All right, don't talk about it. Your weird complex. This has a sick ass transition on this record. You know, uh, like how did that? Were these originally two separate songs, or was it just like a moment that had to be here? You know.
I definitely I de- it was it definitely I definitely wanted a song, at least one song on the EP to just like switch like out of nowhere and be like the total opposite of like the first part. And like this is like lyrically, this was like a super like angry, aggressive song. And like in the first part of it, I was doing like this weird chiptune synth pop, and I was like, yeah, sounds pretty nice, but I can't make a whole song out of it. I can't like I don't know. It would just get super old super fast. And so I was like, I have an idea. What if, and I had no idea how I was gonna do this, but I was like, I just want like a hardcore punk song to just come out of nowhere. And so I had written the synth pop part, and then I had written the hardcore punk part, and I was like, now I have to figure out how I'm gonna put this together in a way that makes it not stupid. And so I tried my best, and hopefully it worked. But yeah, I definitely wanted it to be there. I definitely intended it for it to be there.
Yeah, because like this is like the point in time where I'm like, okay, this is the talent. when I heard that transition, like this is the songwriting talent that I'm listening to. You know,
I really appreciate that.
yeah, but this is the point in time where I'm like, oh shit, I should have been there for the taste. So, but yeah, and then it goes the complete opposite direction with behave like Tundra. You know, so yeah, you slow the pace of the record down by a
Yeah.
lot. And not only does it make the record like seem, I don't want to say seem longer, but you definitely are more invested into it because you have that change of pace and that change of emotion. You know, what was the for Behave like Tundra and Slumped, like was it intentional to have like two instrumental tracks at the middle as opposed to like any other place in the record? And what was it like composing these things?
Well, okay, so Behave Like Tundra, I remember I don't know, I think my guitar was broken or something because there's no guitar on that track. And I just wanted to, I remember I just wanted to make like a screamo song. Like I can't remember what band I listened to, but Gunnar showed me a band that was like, it was like screamo, but it was like completely digital instruments. And I was like, I want to do something like that, where it was like a scrams if it was like, just completely made with computers and stuff. And so that's like kind of where I came from that. That's what came from that. And then Slumped, I was like, okay, you have this first half of the EP or whatever, this first little bit of it, that's like super, it's super like most of these songs are pretty in your face. And I just think there just needs to be a moment of just like relax, just like pretty chill, just calm down. And that's where I came up with Slumped. Because the first EP had a song that was like called With You, that was really like relaxing, kind of like vibey. And I wanted to do like that again.
And that so was in the smack dab in the middle of that EP too.
Yeah. And so I wanted to do that again, but better. And so I came up with Slumped. And I went through like a phase, like I'm pretty sure everyone did in like 2017 or like 2018, when like lo-fi hip hop first started becoming like a thing. And like all I would do was listen to like those 24/7 lo-fi hip hop like live streams. And I was like, I want to make lo-fi hip hop. And then I discovered that it's like really easy to make. And I was like, this is cool. And so like whenever I was bored, I would just make a lo-fi hip hop song. And so I wanted to really bring my knowledge in like making that kind of stuff. And I was like, I just want to bring that, into an EP. And so that's where Slumped came in.
Yeah, I have a history with lo-fi hip hop curators, because like when I was promoting I forgot what record I was promoting. Oh no, was it the Afro track? Because I have a singles project this year, but for some reason in May the single ended up being an entire record. So yeah, I'm releasing an EP like it's EP for the month of May instead of just a single track. But yeah, because I will submit myself to lo-fi hip hop curators. Like this is not like lo-fi enough.
Oh really?
Like I'm sorry, is having 4 bars repeated the only qualifier now?
Oh yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Like I'm sorry that I want to take you on a sonic journey here, but you know, like I don't want to sound like unused rap song from the '90s. Like
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
but that seems to be like what people like back, because I actually submitted to like the lo-fi hip hop channel on YouTube, and I actually got
Oh
some of the
yeah,
stuff from my first record of 2020 on there, which I was surprised about, especially after
hell
going
yeah.
through like Submit Hub and shit. Submit Hub's just garbage. But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, hot garbage because people will just reject your shit. But hey, thanks for the money.
Yeah,
Like
exactly, exactly.
so.
Yep.
But yeah,
Garbage.
yeah, behave like Tundra and Slump. Slump that is it holds a special place. I might actually try to sample that actually, if you don't mind.
Oh, totally. Go ahead.
So, but Projection joins the battle. Like shortest record, but doesn't feel like the shortest record on the EP. Like,
Yeah, that that song, it came about because I remember my friends and I, some of my Twitter mutuals and I were like, let's start an indie band. And so I recorded this guitar track, and I was like, this is kind of indie. It's like a more indie punk kind of deal. And I sent it, and I was like, hey, we should use this for something. And like no one like responded. And I was like, okay. So I'm assuming no one's gonna use this for anything. So I was like, might as well just use it for Hey, I Love You. And I made the drums and all these synths, and I put it onto it. And I was like, this kind of sounds like a Hey, I Love You song that I actually like. Um, and then that was the last song I think I finished for the EP, just because like it's just kind of, for a while it just kind of felt like a throwaway song just because it was made so quickly. Like I made it, I started it at like 5 in the morning, and then I fell asleep, and then I woke up and just finished it, like instrumentally at least. And it just kind of felt, just because I hadn't spent that much time on it, just felt kind of like a throwaway song. But then I put down some vocals, and like I made it super aggressive and super like,
yeah,
super like, ouch,
distorted.
this,
Yeah,
yeah, super distorted and super like, ouch, this hurts my throat to sing. And I was like, this will be a good like get back into the swing of things after Slumped.
it sounds like a fun record to make. It definitely does. And I love the countdown. I love like this the overdrive on the vocals. That was pretty. That was a very nice touch.
Thank
The
you.
the vocal work on this record is just amazing. Let me say that. Like, because I believe what was it in Digital Long, you have like a falsetto going on for a little bit, and
Yeah.
yeah, like that was just wonderful. That was wonderful.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. Something that people don't really probably wouldn't know about me is that I was like a choir boy, like through and through. Like I was in like the honors choir, not to toot my own ass or anything.
Tenor over here, buddy.
Really? Yeah, me too. Me too. But yeah, I loved choir and I loved to sing, and so it doesn't. I don't really think it like shines through a lot in a lot of Hey, I Love You, but like I have been singing for a long, long time. And so yeah, I really appreciate that. That's like, you're like the first person who's ever like complimented my vocals on the EP, which is really cool. I really appreciate that.
Oh, there's definitely a good range here. Like, like every sung note is is executed very well. You know,
Thank you.
and
Thank you.
that's
I really
something.
appreciate that.
That's something I can't, because there's like little like vocal moments on records that I hold on to. Like this is gonna date me, but for on Cheshire Cat, Blink-182's like I guess first proper EP or proper
Yeah.
LP. Uh, and Carousel, there's a point in time where yeah, when Tom goes, when nothing is free. I remember that performance, and it never comes through in the live performance of that record, which is why I never like any live performance of Carousel. Not to mention Travis Barker's drumming is not as good as Scott Rayner's,
Oh yeah,
which
totally.
people would crucify me for that, for even saying
No,
that.
I agree. I agree. Honestly, honest to God, I think Travis Barker or Travis whatever is like a better like performer and like public figure, but I definitely think that like their OG drummer is where it's at. Where
Well,
it's at.
I mean, punk drumming is a whole other animal, and I think Travis Barker is like the better musician
Yeah.
than the original Blink-182 drummer. Like because yeah, like the transplants, I fucking love the transplants. Like that would not be the same with any other person at the music end of it. But but yeah, like but yeah, there's very few vocal moments like that, and yeah, you have it going into that falsetto was just it was icing on a cake, you know,
Thank you.
at the beginning of the record, like it really was,
Thank
and
you. I really appreciate that.
and I appreciate the countdown on Projection Joints of Battle. I really like the quick hand claps and then just straight into it, that's like it lures you into a false sense of security, especially right after Slumped.
Oh yeah, that was totally my intention. Originally, I was just gonna have it go like cold turkey, like the track was just gonna start without that count in, and I was like, it just didn't feel right to go from slumped, then just right into. I needed that count in just to prepare, kind of, just to get people kind of like, oh, you know.
I can only see how this will go over live, you know.
Oh, I really appreciate that.
And Pretty Boy. Uh, Again, you begin with a very pronounced percussive element, which I'm really jealous of the beginning of this record.
Really?
Yeah, like because I love percussive tops like that. You
Oh
know,
yeah,
usually I pitch them down and make them sound like like chains rattling together and shit. You know,
yeah.
which I think, yeah, that really does something for me. I loved hearing it as a kid. And I always wondered how musicians did it. And but yeah, that's a lovely topper you got going on there. And not to
Thank
mention
you.
like the drums on this thing is just amazing. I like the four on the floor thing you got going on here for most of the record. You know,
Thank you.
well, talk to me about Pretty Boy. It's the longest song on the record, last song on the record. What made this be the closer?
Uh, it was. I think just it was the closer, just because it was the last song that I had written, and I was like, I need a song that's gonna be a good way to end the record, and so that's I went with Pretty Boy. And Pretty Boy actually was like written like in the summer. I wrote it for a band that I was a part of for a while called Antique Dreams, and I was like, this is gonna be really cool. It was like really slow and like vibey initially. And when I was during like the week that I was recording the EP, I was like, I need another song to end it out with, but I don't have any songs. And I was like, wait, I have Pretty Boy. What if I just take it and play it really fast? And yeah, so that's what I did. I just took this song that I already had and I like recorded it and I did all these different things, like the verses. I really wanted the verses to be like, pitch up the vocals, really like hyper pop kind of influenced. And then this is also one of those times too where I was like, I want there to be like a first half and then a second half, and the second half is completely different than the first half. And I'm really into like shoegaze and like black gaze. And so I was like, I want to do something like that where it's just like super atmospheric and super huge and like kind of drony at the end. So yeah, that's where Pretty Boy came in.
Yeah, I really love the guitar work on the latter half of the track. Like
Thank you.
that is a great way to like send off the record, I guess, for lack of a better word.
Hell yeah. No, thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Yeah, I just wanted there to be like, the end to the record that's just like, and I wanted the end of the record just to like kind of like float away like it does. Cause I loved like it does that in a Joyce Manor song on the self-titled that they did. I can't remember which one it was, but the song just kind of floats away, and I really love that. And so that's what I wanted to happen at the end of this song. Yeah, and fun fact, when I'm like screaming, like in the very like last half of that track, and like there's like that effect over it, so you can't tell like what I'm saying. That's because I'm just like screaming like actual gibberish.
That's a Helen with Ellen exclusive, I think.
Yeah, originally the ending of that was going to be like instrumental, like just the instruments, and I was like, it needs a vocal work of some kind, but I didn't have any lyrics written, and I was like, I don't have time, I'm just gonna scream and just see what happens. So I did.
Yeah, and yeah, there's definitely a good shoegaze. Like I think the thing I thought of when I first listened to it, this is like Idiot Pilot. I don't know if people still listen to Idiot Pilot.
I've never heard of Idiot Pilot.
Don't feel bad if you haven't. They're a very particular taste back in, I want to say, the in the mid to late 2000s, I think.
Mhm.
But yeah, like yeah, it was like if Idiot Pilot was influenced by video games, like this would be this would be the closest thing, because like I never really heard anything like this in a full length record. Like usually people have like one track that sounds like this,
Oh
and
yeah.
and you managed to do an EP, but that and like especially in Don't Talk About It, like you pretty much like showcase like all bounds of your talents, you know.
Hell yeah. Thank you. That really means a lot. Thank you so much.
So like the album art, like where does where did the album art come from?
So the album art comes from a friend of mine who I actually didn't really meet until I found them on Fiverr. I don't know how to pronounce their name because I've only seen it in text form, but it's like OTA. Um, but they were on Fiverr, which is like, you know, a place that you can go and you can just be like, you look and see all these people. They have like, oh, I'll draw this for you. I'll draw this for you. And I found someone who would draw like an album cover that was pixel art for like not that much money. And I was like, this is really cool. And they're super talented. I'm like, this is crazy that this is only $5. This needs to be this person should be like, you know, like this person should raise their prices like hella, because like this is like really good stuff. And so I hit them up and I was like, yo, I have an EP coming out soon, and I was wondering if you could do the album cover. I don't know what I want really. I just want like a pixel art kind of person playing guitar. I remember I described it. I said like cute anime girl playing guitar, and that's what I sent them to work with, and they gave me that back, which is incredible. They sent that back to me within like 24 hours, which is
Wow,
crazy.
holy
Yeah,
crap!
yeah. It's a really, it's like, especially for being done, you know, only $5 in less than 24 hours. Crazy talented, and they deserve more work. So everyone hit up Oda. I reblog their posts all the time. So if you go to my Twitter or my Instagram, you can see me plugging them. They are incredible. Such an incredible artist.
Yeah, I think I remember you shouting them out in Bandcamp. Their information's on the Bandcamp.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
but man, like, congratulations! Like this is a wonderful record. This
Thank
is
you.
a wonderful record.
Thank
And
you so much.
so where can people find you? Where can the people find Caleb?
Uh, I'm on Twitter a lot. Twitter is definitely the social media platform I feel like I use the most, other than Instagram. But yeah, Twitter at lcaleb with 3 B's at the end, and then on Instagram I'm love.caleb with 3 B's at the end. And yeah, I'm also on Facebook if anyone uses Facebook. I also thought about creating a MySpace too, and just seeing like if anyone will follow me on MySpace.
You know, that's where you can find my earliest music. If you can find my MySpace account.
Really? That's sick. I was
Oh
thinking,
shit! Like we did a Zelda rap song, man.
really? That's awesome. That's so sick.
Yeah. That may be, yeah. That's probably very embarrassing. Man, that's just like that was like 2007, January 2007.
Damn, that's wild. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was back when the Wii first came out, and yeah.
I was a 7-year-old lad at that time. That was
Uh,
crazy. That's crazy.
yeah. I just graduated high school, and I was like, I found myself in my best friend's dorm, and we just had audio equipment for some reason. Like I think the guy that took me there was a bassist, and he had like just recording equipment sitting in his car, and we just recorded like these like 2 songs, and yeah, we did one about Pac-Man and one about Zelda in
That's
one
fucking
weekend.
awesome. That's so cool. Hell yeah. I gotta dig that up. I gotta find it.
God, man, yeah, we were the Three Muskizzles.
Hell yeah.
God, man, man, that was a long time ago. That was
Oh man.
I may have been half my life ago. I think no, not half my life ago, but yeah,
That's crazy. That's
yeah.
wild.
But yeah, I remember I did the music like on a trial version of FL Studio at that time, because I didn't have a computer, like so
Yeah.
I just
Oh
downloaded
yeah,
the trial
totally.
version and downloaded like a chip tune pack, and 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 yeah, it was something. It was
Hell yeah, that's badass.
oh man. Oh, so speaking of video games, usually I end it right here, but you said video games, so we're gonna talk about video games.
Oh fuck
So
yeah.
what would you say like as far as video game music concerns and video game soundtracks? Like what would you say is like the thing your go tos versus your favorite?
Uh, Earthbound probably has my favorite soundtrack of all
Ooh.
time. I love Earthbound. Earthbound is incredible. So is Mother 3. And Undertale too. Undertale has a great soundtrack. I
Undertale
love
has,
Undertale.
especially when you're fighting Undine, like
Yeah, oh
that.
yeah.
Oh man,
Good stuff. Good stuff. And then Super Mario Sunshine too. I've been listening to that soundtrack a lot recently. Any Mario game, like you said, has an incredible soundtrack.
Super Mario Sunshine. The soundtrack is way better than the game.
Oh, really? I've been playing a lot of Super Mario Sunshine.
Super Mario Galaxy, I think, is probably my favorite Mario platformer. I think.
That's a good one too. I love that one.
Yeah, I think for me, yeah, Earthbound is definitely way up there. Like, especially some of the fighting music, the battle music is
Yeah,
just,
I
especially,
love.
I think it was like Battle Against a Weird Opponent because I have the soundtrack somewhere. I
Yeah,
actually finished to scour it, and it's like in 4/4, but the drums are like the melodies like in 3/4, and it's like it goes back and
yeah.
forth. Like
It's
it's weird.
it's so cool that I love Earthbound's music. I love when it's weird. I love when it's pleasant. I love when it's scary. I just love every bit that Earthbound soundtrack has to offer.
Yeah, because the opening of it sounds like whimsical and scary at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I just think that's like a lot of the tone of Earthbound. It's like super whimsical and charming, but also there's like an undertone to it that's kind of just like, oh, what is what's going on?
Yeah, you never forget the fact that oh yeah, these are children thrown into like really scary situations. Like
Yeah, like they have to fight a cult in that game. Yeah,
yeah,
it's just scary.
there's like a lot of anti-cult stuff in Earthbound actually. Now that I think
Oh
about
yeah,
it.
totally. Yeah, like in Mother 3, like the whole thing was like totally like, you know, the whole game in Mother 3 was about like fighting against this cult that's like trying to take over the world. It's crazy.
Man, but I think for me, like Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, which is like
Uh
not the best Final Fantasy game. The music was definitely a lot better than the game. There was a point in time where like I think the president of Nintendo, Miyamoto, actually got together an orchestra to perform the Nintendo Orchestra, and apparently he's like a trained classical musician, and he conducted it.
really?
Yeah, it was that, and I don't know where this recording went because I had it, and then I went away to the Air Force, and when I came back, like it didn't exist anymore. It didn't exist on
God
my hard drive
damn.
anymore. So I don't know where it went. I have no idea.
Yeah. That sucks. That I would have loved to listen to that.
Yeah, that's definitely super good. But yeah, like Final Fantasy VII soundtrack, One Winged Angel,
Oh
man,
my god. I had no idea that was from Final Fantasy because I have heard that like somewhere before. And I thought that it was just like some like, classical song. I had no idea it was from Final Fantasy the first time I heard it. But yeah, it's great.
yeah, it is like it is great, and everything from like I think the Doom soundtracks were always good for me. I think the Doom 3 was done by a member of Nine Inch Nails actually.
Oh yeah.
What was his name? Charlie Clouser, I think, maybe. I don't
I have
know,
no
but yeah,
idea.
Doom 3 was done by a member of Nine Inch Nails. The last two Doom games were done. I forgot what the gentleman's name was, but he's not doing any more of those. There's like a whole big thing about the soundtrack, and then
Really?
yeah. It was a whole huge thing about like the because when you're dealing with musicians, and this is a public service announcement to everybody listening and watching to this, if when you're dealing with musicians, if you give them a timeline, give them like maybe 6 months more than in which you
Yeah.
asked.
Oh yes, most definitely. Most definitely.
Because you're going to be disappointed because you're not going to get your shit back on time. You know,
Yeah, exactly.
like I commissioned out a bass line for one of my tracks that are coming out in May. I still haven't gotten it back, and the thing's already been sent into to DistroKid. Like I'm not waiting on this. It's gonna go baseline. There's no baseline
Yeah.
whatsoever. You know.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
But yeah, it's great meeting you. I really am looking forward to like actually diving deep into like behave like Tundra and Slump. Those are probably the two tracks that I can do without slowing it down to ridiculous proportions. But
Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure talking to you. I'm so thankful to be on here. Just thank you so much.
oh yeah, and like happy belated welcome to Lonely Ghost. I'm glad to be your label mate. You
Yeah.
know,
Thank you.
it's definitely fantastic, and yeah, definitely try and get one of your tracks remixed for my sequel to 2.0. I don't know if you know, like 2.0 was like me remixing the label songs.
That's fucking sick.
And yeah, that was my first record of 2020. That was like I'm going to therapy and I need to
Yeah.
work this out album, and that's definitely that was definitely that. So yeah, I'm definitely like you giving me some stuff to work with here. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm very thankful. I'm very glad.
All right. Well, nice meeting you.
Hey, nice meeting you.